We're starting a brand new series. It's really important for us to kind of go deep into the Bible and understand the concepts of God's Word. Not my message to you, but God's message to you. And this is why we'll go through the books of the Bible. For the next couple of weeks, and maybe even the next couple of months, we're going to be going through the book of Esther. Someone say Esther. Or I say it in Korean, Esito. Oh, very good. So let's turn to the book of Esther. Turn to the book of Esther. You like that, Katie? Yeah. So occasionally what I will do is occasionally I'll have one of the students, whether 6th grade, 7th grade, all the way to 12th grade, have you guys stand up and read. Sometimes I'll have you stand up on your chair and answer a question, maybe. That's not to call you out, but that's what the public school system does, just to keep you engaged. Because technically, after 6 minutes, everyone thinks about something else besides the sermon. That's children and adult too. So for my way to keep you engaged, I might call on you, so be ready. We're in the book of Esther. It's not because I don't like you, I love you. And my job as a pastor is to protect you and to help you grow in faith, okay? So, let's go to the book of Esther. What I'm going to do for us is we're going to read the first section of the first chapter of Esther. And today is going to be introduction. I'm going to show you the themes, the important themes of the book of Esther. Help you understand that every chapter in the book of Esther will link and relate to one of these themes. 3 themes, and it will help you kind of grasp it and understand it, okay? So, let's read. We're going to go back and forth. The first chapter, or the first verse will be read by ESVers. The second verse will be read by NIV. And then we'll go back and forth, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go all the way down to verse 9. Are you ready? ESV, hit, raise your hand, please. ESV. All right, hands down. NIV? NIV? All right, both great versions. ESV first. 1, 2, 3. Now in the days of Lazarus, who reigned from India to Ethiopia for 127 months. NIV, ready, set, go. At the time, Here's verse 3. In verse 4. In verse 5. And when these days were completed, the king gave all the people present to Susa, citadel, great and small. These lasted for 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's house. And 6. The garden had hangings of white and blue and tassels and cords of white and Verse 7. Drinks were served in golden vessels, vessels of different kinds, and the royal wine was lavished according to the bounty of the king. Verse 8. Each guest was allowed to drink in his own way. The king instructed all the wine to in verse 9. Queen Vashti also gave a feast for the women in the palace that belonged to King Ahasuerus. This is the word of the Lord. Amen. Let me ask you a question. I was talking. One of my professors was writing in one of his books, and he's talking about the topic of chance. So imagine you're in a car. Okay, you're in a car and you're driving, and you're turning the corner because there's a big mountain. Okay, you're going to the Poconos or whatever. You're driving and you go around, and you're driving kind of fast. And then all of a sudden, right as you turn that corner, you have to push on the brakes. After you push on the brakes, you see that there's tons of traffic in front of you. You're like, man, since I had to make that sharp corner and I had to stop, if I didn't push my brakes fast enough, I could have gotten to that accident. And then you're thinking, oh shoot, what about the car behind me? Is that same car that's going to be going the same speed? Is that car going to go, turn that corner and see, and push on their brakes fast enough and see there's a bunch of like stopped traffic and they're going to stop. But what about the car behind them? What's going to happen when enough cars are backed enough? You're going to go, and is there going to be a crash? So my professor said that he was there, he was going up the mountains, and there was traffic. This is a real scenario. And he said that he wasn't sure if the car was going to come and brake, if there was anticipation. He's like, if I push the horn, right, that can kind of alert the people behind me, maybe, but that might aggravate for the people in front saying go, and they might get into an accident. So he didn't push the horn. So what ended up happening, a car did come around that corner, pushed on the brake, and it made sounds. And because they were going up the mountains and it's cold there, the car did a 180, no joke, 180 on the road, right? And the back of one car and the back of the other car went right here, no crash. Sick, right? Is that luck? Is it luck? Is it chance? What would you call it? The professor thought, because he's a Christian professor, he's like, oh, I really feel in my heart that angels came, and right when the car was coming, the angels pushed the car, right? Now, how do you think about that? What are you supposed to think? Like, is God in every aspect where there's chance or where there's no chance? When you lose keys, your house key, because you put it in the wrong jacket, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't find it. God, help me. Does God send angels and, ring the jacket so you can find it? Well, for me, I had a pair of my car keys. I put them in my basketball shoes, and then I vowed to myself, because they were a nice pair of basketball shoes, that I would never wear them again. I'd keep them in the box, and I forgot the keys were in there. 2 years later, after having to tow my car to Honda dealership, get a brand new set of key and security system, paying $200 just for the key, and $300 for the tow because it was far away. I'm moving, going to Canada, and I open my shoebox, and I see these keys. I'm just like, why didn't you send angels, God? Right? What's the chance? What's the chance? Like, where was God? Is God in there? Is he not in there? When we look at the book of Esther, and as we read the first part, a lot of the Old Testament books start with "Thus saith the Lord," or it starts with a prophet, or it starts with someone that's like a Bible figure. But the first chapter of Esther, what is it doing? The NIV says Xerxes. And the ESV says Azarus, right? Azarus is a little bit closer to the Hebrew. So this is Esther, the book of Esther is talking about King Xerxes. How many of you guys, young guys, hopefully you didn't see 300, but Xerxes was one of the major kings. Look at this party that he's having. He's not using those red Solo cups for fruit punch. He's using gold goblets. Anything about that? Like, oh man, give me a cup, it's gold. And you throw it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. But they're like, whatever. I bet you he's got a golden toilet too, right? I'm sure they got gold, everything. This guy has money, he's got power, he's got land, people worship him, and he also is the one king that has other people consider him a god, right? For those that you saw Roman, call me a god, he was big, and all these people, and if he made a rule, everyone followed it. Why is the Bible not talking about God? Did you know that the book of Esther is one of two books that not once God is mentioned? Not once. But the book is about God, but it's not mentioned once. But at the same time, there's people like Martin Luther that you guys study about. He actually read the book of Esther and was so upset. He wanted Esther out of the Bible because it makes people think that God does not exist. Or they call it de-sacrilege. It's making something that's so sacred, not sacred anymore. Because the book, as you read through it, you're going to learn about Esther, who's the main event, who becomes the queen. You're going to learn about Mordecai, right, who's the cousin, and he's the one that kind of starts, and they're both Jews, but they don't talk about it. Then you have Haman, who was an enemy of the Jews. Then you have Xerxes, and you have, other queens. And all these players, but God is not mentioned. So what does that mean for you and me? So I say all this because the first theme is the sovereignty of God, or the understanding that God is in total control in every single situation, whether it's present or not. And look at our lives. If you were driving and you were in that car, you would think maybe it's God, maybe it's not. But do you know why? One of the number one reasons why people stop coming to church? It's this thing called the divine anticipation. Say divine anticipation with me. Because we're so busy like watching games, we're playing around, we're so enjoying the things that we have in America. We don't have an anticipation and we don't have a waiting for what is God going to do? What can God do? And throughout the whole book of Esther, you see that God is not in the forefront, but he's unseen, he's in the background. But you see that he's very, very active in the things that play out for the salvation of the Jews, which ultimately is going to be salvation for us through Jesus Christ, and to know that he's in control. Now, check this out. There's a story, okay? Some of you guys know Pastor Paul Sud. He's a mentor of mine. When he first became a 전도사, when he first became a 전도사, okay? There was this one person in the congregation, because he thought that Paul 목사님 was younger than him, he would just totally like 무시해, even though he was a 전도사님, right? So you know how Koreans are. Koreans are weird, right? Korea, Bryce, come here. You're in the front, right? Let's just say in Korea, right? In Korea, because this never worked for me. Bryce is like 11 years old, and I'm 12 years old, right? So Bryce in Korea would have to be like, 형님, 안녕하세요, 음식 드셨어요? 밥 닦아줄까요? All these like weird things, right? And then the 12th grader, 12-year-old, he's like, 야 임마 일로 와, right? So he just like talks really, really down, right? So being an American, I went to Korea, and I'm not even like, hey, and they're like, hey가 뭐야? And I'm like, what do you mean? That's how we say hi in America. So like there was this problem, and there's this like, and that's what Paul Molson was going through. You were a really good 11-year-old, okay?
11-year-old.
And he had this problem, but he wanted to like fight this guy because he's older. He wanted to say something nasty, be like, do you know I'm a pastor? You can't treat me like that. He wanted to do that publicly, but he just kept his mouth shut. He kept his mouth shut, and the guy just kept on hounding him and disrespecting him. Even though Paul Molson was the hyung, this guy, right, was just treating him like he was a 동생 in front of everybody. So the Bible verse that Paul Molson had in mind was, God is going to take vengeance. I don't have to take revenge from this guy because God is going to do that. So he had this divine anticipation. God, how are you going to, redeem me? How are you going to uplift my name and help me? And like for a year this went on. And they said one time, they didn't know what was happening. They were like in a prayer group, and everyone was holding hands, and they were doing something called a brasso. And everyone was praying for one another. Okay? And as they were praying for one another, something happened, and someone bumped into Paul Molson, and his ID fell on the ground. And guess what happened? Who was next in line to pray for Pastor Paul? That very guy that was bullying him for the year went down and picked up the ID and saw how old Paul Molson was. And realized at that moment, after 1 year of hounding him, that he was disrespectful to a hyungmin. Paul Molson at that point was like, yes, like victory, like God knew that he was working something so that, because if he just told him, was like, you have to respect me, that there would have been conflict. But Molson was patient, believing in the sovereignty of God, and was like, God, you're going to make this right? And God made it right so well, because publicly as they were praying, the guy looked at it and was like so embarrassed, and then had a complete change of heart. If Paul Molson was like, hey, you can't talk to me like that, then maybe he would have been like, psh, I'm not going to come to church no more. But then God intervened in that, as he does always. And there was something divine that happened, and it changed his heart. For you and me, Christian, you're in school, they don't talk about God. Maybe negatively about God, like they do in the book of Esther. At home, maybe they talk about God, maybe they don't talk about God. In your clubs, among your friends, maybe you don't talk about God. Maybe he's not present like he's not present here. But what we can learn from God's sovereignty is that in the background, God is always doing something and planning something for the good and the rescue of his people. I'll tell you right now, there's a young lady, I said this on Friday, she started talking about Jesus in her school, and then started to get persecuted from one of her friends, and she's in junior high. And she came to me and she's like, Pastor Joe, she pointed at me with one finger, and I was like, do you need to see my ID? And I'm only no, but she pointed and she's like, you gotta help me, Pastor Joe. I was like, okay. Well, for math? I'm okay at math. She's like, no, I talked about Jesus and this person's making fun of me. He was like, you talk to your teacher? And the teacher said, oh, that's the kind of girl that she is. I'm like, that's no answer. Right? That's no help, teacher. You're terrible. Right? What's wrong with you? I said, talk to her fearlessly. Love her, guide her. Right? In the background, I'll tell you, I can guarantee you, for this young lady, I'm anticipating God to do something. If this young lady went and I told her, you know what? Go punch her in her face. Nothing would come about. She'd probably get suspended, even expelled. And then I'd probably get called in because I told her to do it, right? But God, for us, what's going to really grow our faith and help us to see God more and be unified is anticipating and waiting for what God is going to do. In the book of Esther, you'll see some things that you might think is chance is not chance. For example, for those that you know a little bit about Esther. Esther, number one. Esther's a Jew. And she didn't say that she was a Jew until she became queen. God had known that she was going to become queen, but God had known also that she would not reveal her identity until it was time to rescue her people. Also, Esther, it says that she was beautiful. They had things better than BB cream back in these times. They had all the face washes. They would spend months and weeks preparing just to present to the king. And out of all the people, King Xerxes picked a Jew to be her queen, to have political power. In the background, Esther probably didn't know. In the background, Mordecai didn't even know. But in the background, way in the background, God knew way beforehand that Esther and Mordecai would be raised up so that the people of Israel would be rescued. You and I are similar like Esther and Mordecai. God is doing something in the background for you to be raised up, that in the time that you would rescue your own people and your own Christians. Even when you don't see him working, you can guarantee and trust that he's working something in the background. You just never know. But I urge you and encourage you to have this divine, godly anticipation. I wonder what God's going to do. I wonder what God's going to do at the retreat. I wonder what God's going to do at the missions. I wonder what God's going to do in this problem, this situation. I wonder how God is going to make something really bad come into good. The parallel story is the book of Joseph, where Joseph's brothers sold him. And towards the end of the story of Joseph, he says to his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And we get to have confidence in that because this is our God as well, in his sovereignty. Can you say amen? Amen. Amen. The number 2 theme that you'll see in Esther and Mordecai is that Esther and Mordecai, although they're Jews, they have very little faith. If you think that God only uses people that have lots of faith, like you see like Justin's up here like play, and then I saw Jeffrey was leading praise one time on Friday service. I was like, you want to lead praise, Jeffrey? He's like, yeah. And he led praise. I'm not even gonna lie, it was my guitar. That's why I'm so like, oh my gosh. He came back feeling so good, and I saw blood all over his finger. Because he was playing. Were you playing with a pick?
It broke, so
you just use your finger. Ah, man. He was playing with a pick, or playing with his fingers. He got blood all over my guitar and all over his fingers. But he was such a jolly guy. He's like, I led praise. And it was really good. And I was like, you're losing blood. Like, what's going on, right? He's just like, oh, he was like so happy. And just like that little, I was like, you want to lead? You want to lead praise? He's like, yes, going up there. And I was so shocked. Having never led praise, he led people to the presence of God. I was like, wow, a little bit of faith. You 6th graders, I don't have much to offer all these big guns. It's not true. If God can use Esther, who had little faith, she was even afraid. We'll get into that later. She was afraid to talk to the king. But God used that. How do we know this? The only 2 places in the Bible where a servant of God does not and refuses to bow their knee to a king of a different nation is in the book of Esther and in the book of Daniel. What did Daniel do against Nebuchadnezzar? Someone tell me. All right, good answer, okay? What Daniel did, right? Daniel refused to bow his knee. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. Right, Daniel, right? The book of Daniel in the Old Testament. You guys follow? You guys know who Daniel is? Okay. So Daniel was the one that refused to bow his knee. And we have also Mordecai, who refused to bow his knee to Haman. and refused to stand up when Haman, who was the enemy, they both refused. But you see, Daniel was a person that prayed through the window. He was the one that refused food. But you see, Mordecai and Esther, they're participating in the things of the people under the ruler of Xerxes. So he has these things. They're not as, it doesn't seem like they're as faithful as Daniel. But when you see Esther and how God uses Esther, Esther is used here in a time of complete darkness where Jews were about to be all executed. And God's promise would be null and void. Instead of that happening, God used Esther and Mordecai to rescue the nation of the Jews where Jesus Christ would come. So it doesn't take a lot of faith. It takes the next step of faith. I would say next step of faith. All God is looking for is not that you look like the next Justin or Andrew or Jeffrey, but that you just take one more step of faith closer to God. And if you're stepping one more step of faith, you'll realize that God can use you just like the way that God used Esther and Mordecai here. God loves little faith. It doesn't require you to become a Chandazani or a pastor. It doesn't require you to be some huge missionary. He needs a little bit of faith. And he seeks for those who have a little bit of faith. Esther had a little bit of faith. Mordecai had a little bit of faith compared to Daniel the prophet, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But God uses those that have little faith. God is doing things in the background. And also, thirdly, God will always keep his promise. If Haman had his way, all the Jews would be gone, and you and I would not have salvation. But God keeping his promise from the book of Genesis, that someone will come from a seed that will be in the lineage of Adam. We'll see that comes from the Jews in this Esther. From Esther, you'll see the New Testament, you'll see Jesus Christ. He's trustworthy. He's working things in the background, and he uses those that have little faith. Amen? Amen. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this introduction to the book of Esther. I pray, Father, that you would help us see throughout the book of Esther your sovereignty. And throughout the book of Esther, how you use little faith. And throughout the book of Esther, your promise that you keep through Jesus Christ. Thank you, Father, for your word. And help us to see, Father, and have this great divine anticipation that you're going to make good of all the problems that we have, as long as we're walking faithfully and deeply within you, God. So thank you for your grace and mercy. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. We're going to collect offering right now, and Jane's going to come and make some announcements.